Great. So I'd like to welcome up Håkan Lindhé, the writer of The Inner Circle. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Maybe tell us a little bit about how the show idea started with you.
Well, it was not my idea from the beginning. Okay. So I got a call from my producer, Håkan Lindhé, and he said something like, "How would you like to spend the next summer in Gotland doing something which is not crime?" And I said, "Yes." "What is it?" So he told me about this book by Per Schlingmann. And I was immediately interested because I always wanted to do something about the political world, but I had no idea how to do it because I didn't know anyone in that world. So suddenly there was a great opportunity to work with someone who really knew what happened behind the headlines, so to speak. So so that's how it started.
And how, obviously this is not, an adaptation of his book. How did you use some of the ideas in his book to come up with the plot, the characters?
Yeah, well, we had a kind of vague political plot in the novel, but it was not enough to fill up 8 episodes. So my job was to, add some new characters and some new elements, and a lot of emotions and dramas and all that, problems that could work on TV. So yeah, it's we said it's very loosely based on the book, but yeah.
I mean, it seems to me that's one of the hardest things to do is to have a show about contemporary politics, because whatever you do can be seen as being too close to real life or too fetched.
Or nowadays a bit too lame compared to what happens in real life.
Politics is so crazy. This is going to be boring compared to Mr. Trump. But how do you handle writing about contemporary politics?
Well, Per was of great help here. We decided very early on that this was not based on real events or real people, but everything that happens in the series could happen in real life. So I felt some kind of freedom there, of course. And while I was writing this and went further away from the book, I got some really good feedback from Per that, maybe it doesn't work that way really, so he helped me in that sense. But yeah, we tried to make it, as dramatic and interesting it could be. At the same time, it had to be very authentic, so yeah.
And beyond his politics, what's fascinating about this lead character for you as a man?
Well, he's slightly different in the series than in the book. Of course, when Per wrote the book, I think he was more or less writing about himself, as I did when I wrote the screenplays or the scripts. But I tried to give him a more interesting backstory. Gave him a black sheep of a half-crazy brother. I gave him a lot of problems with his wife, and I just used things I knew for some reason. So.
And did you work at all with the actor, or you were sort of set on the script by the time he came in, or did you have any back and forth with him?
No, I was writing this very much by my own for a while, and of course with the feedback from Per and Håkan. And I started with just the 4 first episodes, and we wrote them all, and then I didn't know what would happen in the end, but then we got some interesting feedback and some indications that it might happen, so I wrote the rest. But we were casting the show as I wrote, because after a while Ole Sarri popped up in my head, and it was quite easy to, so give him a call and,
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. And when you set out to do it's 8 episodes, yes, did you have a sort of plot, had you pinpointed all 8 episodes, and did that sort of change as you were writing?
Yeah, I wrote a storyline, a brief storyline, but it changed quite a lot during the writing of the full episodes. So I don't want to plan too much ahead, because then it's not so interesting, actually.
Yeah.
I want to see what happens.
Yeah. Have any politicians seen it and given...
Not that I know yet, but it would be very interesting.
Yeah. When does it air in Sweden, then?
In March, 22nd of March, in Viaplay.
Okay, thank you. And why, this is about Swedish politics, but why do you also think it might be universal, that people elsewhere will want to watch this?
The political world is the arena and the context of it. But it's really a family drama. And the main issue in the series is more like the conflict between career and family life. That's what's at stake here, really. So, and I think everybody can relate to that.
Yes.
You have to go to an important meeting or picking up the kids from school. Is most important in the end of the day? So, yeah.
Might change when you're prime minister.
Yeah.
The priorities. Yes. And could there be another season?
Oh yeah, many seasons.
Many seasons.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Well, watch this.
So yeah, well, I hope so. Yeah.
Great. Well, good luck tonight.
Thank you
so much for sharing the inner circle with us.
Thank you.
Thanks.